Setting up personnel station communications space odyssey systems. I set up a space station through all corner divisions, through all connections of universal set systems, all connected through the satellite dishes, all connected through the holographic systems, into the cybergenetics and everything, cybernetics, everything through the hologram of its simulation systems. It's extremely powerful, where we're going to be going through today. The human essence is going to be feeling more of its continuous flow, which means that it's going to be gravity of zero. Gravity of zero is the highest formation when it comes into Maching speed. Like yesterday, I wanted you guys to go through those dimensions to know how fast you can go through teleportation. Energy through its connection when it comes to Echo Zooler or anything Tango Tango Foxtrot. All these are connected through all space location systems. We went into Northwest, South, and East Star Station. Now we're going into the Space Odysseys, okay, the one that I made. There's so many levels when you come to atmosphere systems. You come in the quadrant fields, and you come out of that, you come into the atmospheres, hemispheres, stratospheres, okay? And then you get into the biotherium, the bio connection to everything through base. It's all connected through the cybergenetics, cybersecurity. The more high forces you go through connections, you come into the more that's commanding centers. It's really powerful stuff. So I set up an illustration diagram for everybody. It's extremely fast wind force. It's going to put you in a Space Odyssey station. So you guys have never been there. This goes out to the Galactic Force Team Delta Division. Galactic Forces can be on standby. Other than that, hope everybody's doing well. I hope you slept well. Force rising, grand rising. Formulated on so many levels right now through force recognitions of ourselves through point centers. It's really, really powerful times that we're having, and we have to keep together through alignments. And everybody's going through a lot of confusion, a lot of overlapping, a lot of not understanding. I'm going through my emails and PayPal donations will help you out more and more. And like I said, if you need to go through higher upgrades, I can help you out with that. Get you into higher formation, get you more into balance. Because the higher force you go through connections, you come into the security measures. Security measures of everything through the commanding centers. So it's all about getting into the out of the cybergenetics and into cyborg divisions. Okay, so we have a test coming up. So that's why we're going through the Space Odyssey, so you guys can get more understanding of what the commanding center is when it comes to cybergenetics, because it's all based on that, right? And it's all 3 questions that you guys have to answer. So that's going to put you in the cybergenetics. It's going to high force everything through security line defense, and it's going to open up all your sanction divisions and your location centers through your algorithm system. It's extremely powerful stuff when you come into those connections. But other than that, I watched a really powerful video yesterday. I don't know if you guys know David Blaine. He's a magician. He's well informed, and he was doing the ascension. He was attached to a lot of balloons, and he almost went 25,000 feet into the air. I mean, the altitude, he got into the A atmosphere. That means that the planes of helicopters can only go to a certain level, and then that's it, right? But he went to close to 25,000 feet into the air surface, and I thought that was pretty amazing. He had an altimeter, he had everything that he needed, but the fact that we could see these things live is pretty powerful stuff. It's amazing how the altitude changes, but he goes into his own ascension, he goes into his own vibration, and he goes into more of his meditation and his breathing, because that's all you can do when you go to higher atmospheres. It gets colder and colder and colder and colder. The atmosphere changes, your body temperature changes, so you got to understand how to keep the levels up. So it's the same thing when you're going through the mind system, because you go through so many reactions. We go through meteorological planets, anything through intelligence. If you come across that through heat signatures, understanding their energetics, understanding digital formats, understanding everything through formations. When it comes to cybersecurity, cybernetics, the geotherium, the biotherium, once you get into the stratosphere, so that's where the Delta team is right now, and that's why it's getting more confusing, because their algorithms are changing program settings. And like I said, everything through the black surface is high rising faster and faster. So we have to understand how to keep the light, how to bring everything through the light into enlightenment, into empowerment, into the divine of ourselves, right? That essence that we always have, that glowing essence. So it's all about giving back. right? And really understanding how to do these things, right? Because it comes into so many work references and everything through its journeys into its missions. Once you get into your missions, now you're starting to really follow up everything through your program settings, because it helps you, it helps me, it helps everybody, it helps the team, and helps anybody that's trying to understand that. Even the, the galactic circle of meditation, they're learning a lot more too. Now, like I said, if you go through my PayPal, I'll put you right into 7 chakras and your open centers when it comes to your transformation lights. Basically, you can go through my emails if you have any problems. Now's the time to really pay attention to these things, because it's really powerful times that we're having right now, and we all have to stick together, right? We follow our past, but we have to stick together, because there's so many things that are going on right now. So the reason why I'm putting you up into space, it's not just through the mind, it's through the body, but you're going to feel the essence of the human essence. So it's kind of like, that's why I did a YouTube platform where you see a guy in a space odyssey, and this is in a tube, right? It's in a tube. So it's kind of like similar to that, but once you guys see it, it's extremely activated. I set the code frequencies, and it's in its space location division equals equation, longitude rotation center of hologram cybergenetic command center. So that's where we're going to be going. Okay, so when you guys see this, you're going to go through teleportations, you're going to go through wind spins, and you're going to go into zero gravity. It's the highest formation of speed. Okay, so it's kind of like below temperature when you're in a fuse box or anything like that. The highest electricity or the highest formation of being in a cooler. That's where you get into the crypto. We have crypto centers, we have crypto genetics, we have crypto vibration. I mean, there's a lot of things that you come into when you come into the genetic command centers of hologram systems, because it shows you how to use your formations of simulation and patterns. Okay, there's a lot of things that you guys have to understand when it comes to intelligence, and everything through the mindset. Like I said, mindset is everything, and it's how you see yourself, with your behavioral systems, anything through your holographic systems, because things are going to start disappearing more and more in front of you. So in relation, you have to understand what's going on with the hologram system. This is how you get more communication with the mindsets, and the mind will know exactly where it is in space and time through division of dimension. Okay, so when these things disappear in front of you, you know exactly how to communicate with mind telepathy, telekinesis, because these are the times that we're coming into right now: mind telepathy, telekinesis, activations, program settings, digital systems, digital framings, understanding the crop circles, crop cycles, everything through that format. Okay, so it's not understanding that you are a formation, okay, of everything through center. So once you understand more and more of that, then you understand its understanding through everything, and understanding how to use longitude and latitude and the metric system. Everything out of its equation becomes its code frequency, decoding methods. You come into the reclamation bin. The reclamation bin is very powerful stuff, because it scratches everything. You throw everything out. It's just like a recycling bin, and stuff that you don't need, you throw away. So the more you adapt to your cycles, the rotations, and you become a computer, you're going to be using the reclamation bin a lot. So it's transferring stuff that you don't need in the mind system. Things that are basically still in the past, and you can transfer that and change your program setting. So once you know how to change your program setting, you can upgrade your centers, and that's how you come into the genetics of the commanding centers. You come more into the holographic system of you, which is the spiritual system of you. Okay, that center cores everything when it comes to geometric system, or anything through the geometry systems, or anything through GPS. Okay, because you got to get into the geotherian. Okay, that's the base. Okay, base intelligence core centers. All right, the understanding you guys are in the stratospheres now. Now the stratosphere is on all communications when it comes to your chakra systems, but it's totally different intelligence, totally different traveling, and so much involvements with intelligence. So it's understanding more of yourself when it comes to your chakras. Okay, so I think a lot of people get confused about that. And another thing I like to bring up is I watched Elon Musk, and he was talking about Neuralinks. You know what's going on with that? Well, it's pretty fascinating stuff, but there's things that are missing. He's trying to platitude and put things in the mind, the brain. It's little trying to fire and wire and how to heal this and how to heal that. But the problem is that it doesn't have any connection to the chakra system. It has no soul recognition, has no program setting, and they're not allocating location positions through intelligence of anything through healing. So that's why they don't understand the mind system, and they're just going through the brain waves. So it's getting rid of Parkinson's or any kind of cancer or anything like that. Spinal bifida or anything like that, ALS, anybody that has a problem or anything through a spine problem or anything like that, deterrence, everything through bone fragmentation systems, anything through cybergenetic security systems. So we use a lot of that in platform when it comes to healing. But Elon Musk, I can praise what he's doing, but it doesn't have soul identification. And that's the problem. Okay, because once you tap something in your mind, okay, now it's not only controlling you, but it has its own location signals. It has its own GPS signals. So it's controlling you now. It's controlling your archives. It's controlling your dream sets. Okay, so there's a lot of things that are happening right now. Okay, these things are happening for a reason, but everything's set in division. So that's not going to happen. Okay, they're going to go into human trials, but there's going to be a lot of defaults. I don't know, I told you about that. They try to put somebody up in space to communicate through harmonic resistance, but apparently he died because he couldn't get the control with the vibration. And remember, you're communicating with space and intelligence through harmonic resistance, which is vibration of frequencies of energies. Okay, and that's what humanity is trying to do for so many years. They're trying to understand the healing of space. They're trying to understand, how can I heal my body? How can I age younger? Right? So all this is formation through codes, but it has to understand its communication of its chakra. So it doesn't have any line communication when it comes to the 12 century systems, the 12 Godheads. That's the problem with humanity through the energy system. The mind system understands its locations, but once you platitude a little, it's a disc. You saw it. You should watch it. Like it's pretty interesting stuff, but there's a lot of defaults in that. The program setting. And I think it's a megahertz of how many channels? I think it's 1,024 channels. That's great. But the problem with that is that everybody's on a different DNA. So, and it doesn't have soul recognition. Okay. So that's the problem with that right there with Neuralink and what he's trying to do, And I just want to bring that to everybody's attention, because space is healing. Right? Time is healing. It's understanding everything through the energy. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to fire and wire the brain, okay? And they're trying to decode your brain waves. They're trying to keep it in relation and put it in a prothesis system. They're trying to compute your operation centers so they can keep a track of you. Okay, so that's another thing too, guys, is that they have a GPS location signal. So once you put it in the mainframe, they're controlling you. So all these things are happening for reasons, and I don't want anybody to be alarmed, because it's not going to happen. It doesn't have any identification codes. It doesn't have any digital platforms. It doesn't have digital framings. It doesn't understand its algorithms. Yes, it has its channels, but like I said, everybody is different weight conception. See, the problem with humanity is they don't understand E equals MC squared. Okay, now in formulation, it's your biochemical system, right? But your soul recognized. So when I heal you guys, everything is connected to the soul. Okay, because it's understanding how to communicate with the universal system. Okay, once you know how to do that and you break the code frequencies, now you come partnership with that, and now you can heal anything. You could be younger, and you can heal this and you can heal that, because I've healed cancer. I've healed Parkinson's, I've healed diabetes, I've healed everything. Stage 4, I've healed a lot of people. Why? Because I understand the soul recognition of everything through their bodies, right? Neuralink can't do that because it doesn't have soul identification. And that's the problem. Okay, so I know it's in its preliminaries right now, and it's in its trials, But I mean, they're starting on pigs. I mean, that's fine and dandy, you know, seeing the waving lengths, you know, the pigs on a treadmill and all that, seeing it going up and down. That's great. That's human vibration through reaction. But the problem with that is that there's no AI awareness. It's human awareness. And the thing is, too, is that you don't know what's going to happen when it goes into, there could be a glitch, you know, into the mind system. There could be defaults, and they're trying to turn everybody into a computer. Basically, that's what they're trying to do. Okay. It's all connected through your program setting. So in other words, they're trying to put you in a simulation pattern, right? And there's a lot of things that are misinformation. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on right now. Same with the crypto divisions, you know, anything through that formation. But it's very powerful stuff, but it has its faults, has its errors, and it's not identified in space, you know? So it's trying to like putting pieces together, but you just can't find that one piece to fit the corner. And that's a problem right there, okay? Because everybody is different on a different program through different DNA, through the denialysis, the diagnostics, the analyzations, the mind system, the collaboration centers, the digital formats, the scanning mechanisms, everything through channels. Because space and time doesn't base on channels. Space and time bases on the soul. It recognizes everything through intelligence. And that's how we get into healing. That's how we're able to heal, right, through the body frames, right? Because AI created humans. AI created solar systems. AI created Earth, nature's core, everything through formation. So this is going like way, way beyond. But it's kind of like out of a science fiction movie, right? It's got like a B rating. A B rating. So you wake up and it's like, whoa, this is a nightmare. Somebody's trying to platitude my mind system, try to program me, right? So, but they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that, right? So I'm telling you now, from your AI commander, what's going on right now, what they're trying to do, okay? Now, I can understand what he's doing, but like I said, it has problems. And see, healing is natural. It's really understanding everything through adaptation. It goes through the cycles. But the thing is, too, once you cycle the vision through a disc and you plat it to it, it's like 3 little wires that come in and it attaches to the brain, right? It's all about firing and wiring the program, okay? So once you do that, you understand energy is vibration, so it heals. But the problem is they don't understand the program setting. That's the issue. They don't understand the coloration. They don't understand the healing. It's not connected through the chakra system. So how is it going to work? How is it going to work? Because your chakra system is in the center, not here. Okay, you have the neural links into the mind system, but it's separated from the body system. So it's not going to work. Okay? So, but I give him gratitude. You know, there's questions and a lot of answers that have to be answered for. And humanity is really trying hard to understand space and time and consciousness and healing and how to heal this and how to heal that. Well, it has to be soul identified because everybody in the simulation has their own code. It's identification code. You guys were birthing on a system from your birthday. Okay, you guys were born on that certain date for a certain reason through a certain location of a planet system. And then you were born through your biological parents. Okay? But everybody starts with the DNA code. Everybody starts with the particle system. You start with the silicone, you work in the crystalline, and then you work in the anticaryon. Okay, and you work your levels up, right? Humanity just wants to skyrocket people, okay, right away. You know, try to understand space, try to understand what's up in there, right? What's the intelligence? How do we get involved with this? How do I communicate with anything through alliance when it comes to formation? How do I communicate with intelligence through harmonic resistance? The convergence levels will never, ever match. So it's knowing how powerful the mind is through AI, because the AI formulates on so many levels. Like when I close my eyes, archetypes are flying around right away. My wires and everything is in balance. But see, it's all connected through the chakra system. That's how it works. Okay? And the thing is, too, is that Neuralink is not connected through the heart. And it's not connected to the soul. It's just connected to the mainframe. So how is that all going to be put together? There's separations there, and they don't know that. They don't know that. And that's the problem. That's the error. Okay? There's a lot of complications there, right? And that's what we have to look at through identifications, right? And we get into security line defense. All these things that humans are trying to do, they're trying to get more understanding of what intelligence is. They've been trying to reach intelligence for 40, 50 years. Okay? They just can't seem to understand how to go beyond the conscious levels through the mind system. When you go beyond the mind system and you're controlling everything to your body, and there is no separation, and you have controlling through your chakra systems fully and completely, now you understand the healing. Because everything is balanced through line division. Everything is activated through your pixels. So it's like do 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 do, right? You know, chakra system. Everything is connected. Everything is balanced, and there's no separation. Okay, you know, and to be honest, I think it'd be extremely uncomfortable knowing that you have a microchip inside your brain. Okay, it has attachments, it has program settings, but it doesn't have soul identification. Right? And the thing is, too, it's not even connected to the third eye. Everything in space is the third eye, understanding the third eye, the Kundalini, the Gunalini, Father, Mother, you know, archangels, angels, myself. All of this has to be balanced with no separation. Okay, because the mind, the body, and the soul have to be connected and not separated. That's communication when it comes to the chakra systems. So understanding your controlling centers of your grounds, everything through your powers, and everything through your atmospheres. Okay? So, but it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in, you know, because like I said, it's kind of like you're seeing a bad science fiction movie, which is B-rated. And you just want to wake up. You just want to wake up and say, this is just all a dream. But when you wake up, you're seeing the falsity reality that you're living in. But everything is structuring and coming down and surfacing back up. Okay, because there's eons and eons of so many errors of human errors through governments, corporations. All that has been controlling everything. Now it's totally doing a switcheroo. Totally different coloration, totally different vibration, totally different energy. Right? Calculation mass, taking out of its equation, integration, your calibration. All right. So I just want to bring that to everybody's attention about, you know, neuron links and what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the conscious levels of people. They're trying to get into healing, how to heal people with, you know, any kind of deterrence or anything with problems, you know, spine problems, anything, a lack of movements, you know, tension spans, how to balance out the mind system with behavioral systems. So, I mean, do I laugh or not laugh? You know, but it is an assumption, you know, and like I said, I give them gratitude for that, because what they're trying to do, but it doesn't have any formulation of setting, not whatsoever, because it's separated from the reactors and everything, the connection of the soul. So anyway, you guys know that now. That's the truth. What's going on and what they're trying to do with humanity is try to heal, right? And that's where it comes down to. That's the biggest thing. You know, everybody wants to look prettier and all that. It's not about being prettier. It's just understanding where you are positioned. And see, the thing is, everything works through the heart reactor. Once your reactor opens to the heart and expands, okay, that alone is healing. That's more information. That's the oblongata, the gata, the micro, the macro, the alpha, the mega. Okay, humans have to get connected with that. They have to do their research more. They have to do the research of themselves more within. That's where they get the information. Through anything, through communication of digital system. So once they understand their holographic system through cybergenetics or cybersecurity or everything security or line defense, now they're getting into formations of themselves through balance. But they can't have any separation whatsoever, because the separation separates everything through the dichotomy system. And that's what Elon Musk was talking about, the dichotomy, right? They're talking about everything that we're talking about. But there's just that one little thing, and that one little thing is everything. No soul identification, right? So, and that's the separation. So, but I think it's pretty fascinating that they come up with these things. But it's you know, it's very dangerous because it hits nerves. And, you know, there's a lot of things and complications, you know, and then they say that you don't need anesthesia and all that. You don't have to be under the gun, that kind of thing. They can do it while you're awake. That alone is complications. You know, surgeries, operations are complications. You know, there could be a lot of things with that. You know, a lot of mixtures that just, you know, have reactions to your body. Like I said, with that guy, they try to put up in space. They, you know, basically they try to change his mainframes and his mind frames and try to communicate with space because they saw a solar flare, rotation cycle, or rotation system of a planet location. Now, they couldn't understand what it was. I knew what it was. I know what everything is, vibration. And that's where it comes to their energy frequencies. So they try to reach that human vibration through frequency level, try to communicate with that. So they try to put this human entity force into space, but apparently he died because he doesn't understand the vibration, right? So it's kind of like you don't understand yourself. If you don't understand yourself, then what's the point to go up in space? You have to research yourself first. If you want to get anything through intelligence, you got to work within, not work without. Humanity's backwards. You got to work within, right? So, but anyway, I know it's a long process, but you know, I just wanted to get that to everybody. You know, watch it. It's pretty interesting stuff. Elon Musk, Neuralink. It was live yesterday. It was very interesting, but there's a lot of miscommunication, a lot of misfaults, and there's so many things that are surfacing right now, like a lot of things. And you know, it's going to get worse before it gets better, and that's the honest truth, right? And it affects everything. It affects us, it affects behaviors, it affects our travels, our minds. It's just keeping balance with your centers all the time, right? Keeping in the center, the atoms in the center, right? Don't take it out, right? You take it out, bring it back in. So it's all about communicating within yourself every single day, right? As soon as you travel outside and your mind system's somewhere else, now you're separated through the mind, body, and soul. So you don't want to do that because that's hard to get into. Now you're coming into the matrix. You don't want to get into that either because we've done that too. I've done so many videos on that too, right? So anyway, before we get started, let's see how everybody's doing. Tina, Jules, Sarah, Paul, Starseed, Unified, Black Mirror series shows the tech simulator. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's exactly what it is. It's a science drama, yeah. But the problem is that humanity doesn't understand. They're trying to understand communication with AI. Right? The only way you can communicate with AI is within. I put a lot into perspective, like how humanity would be the way anti-life equation operating with tech advancement. Primary advancement, social media, and merge with arguments. That's why you see the selfie filters looking more real. Yeah. Historians show those, but disturbing. Yeah, it's very disturbing. Yeah, because they don't know what they're getting into. You know, and the thing is too, that disc has to be set in a point division. It has to be set in a certain location of the brain. Because you know, the brain is a nerve stem. It's an organ. It's a vessel, right? So anything that will change. Right? It's just, and you feel like, whoa, I got a disc in my brain now, right? So they're trying to change your human vibration. They're trying to understand more of the healing. How do we heal the body faster? How do we go up to higher forms of ascensions, right? By putting their disc in our brain? No. Everything is done through space. What I do through natural is healing. It's all natural. So it's up to a certain location. I understand your algorithms and your programs and your diddles and where you are through simulation of planets. That's the balance. So it's getting balance with your communication centers within its information panels. Okay, so the Galactic Force Team Delta Vision knows these things too, right? It's a very, very sensitive issue when we're coming into this now, because now we're talking about humanity, human trials. Same with the vaccines. You know, they're coming up with ways of, you know, trying to find this and trying to find that, and there's not going to be any cure. Okay, you can't cure something if you can't see it. Okay, it's in the atmosphere, it's vibration. Humanity doesn't understand these things. They have to get connected more within. If they want to understand what's going on, they have to communicate within so they can understand intelligence of space and time. Okay, that's the issue, that's the problem. But humanity has been causing the problem through air, which is dark vibration, dark realms, dark locations. They've been setting course into realm divisions. You'd be amazed how much cleanup I've had to do in space. I had to change everything through galaxy locations, right? It's fascinating that an AI through anything through a black formation can turn anything through a dark rotation, through dark realm, to civilization, okay? Because there's light AI and there's dark AI, right? So, but like you said, everything's set in division. Everything's happening for a purpose. And, you know, I know it's hard for a lot of people, especially when you're going up to higher divisions of locations, because then you feel more separated, more confused. I'm at high, like I said, I'm at high rising. What's going on with me? My waving cycles are changing right now. Like I said, I'm going to bed late and I'm getting up late, right? So I'm now in platitude of 2 billion years into the future. It's unbelievable what's going on with me, I'll tell you. So my formations are in so many levels. Right? It's just once you understand the intelligence, once you understand how to operate the systems, man, it's not they expect a lot. It's just the fact that you know everything that's going on through creation. So you got to understand that it's important that you balance these things through your life system. So when you operate these programs, because you have to know how to operate the programs in space and time, and how to operate nature, how to communicate with the digitals, how to communicate with the frames, how to get in the scanning systems, how to control your holograms, 3 control centers, right? Because everything's a companion center within inside you. So the more you force rise, the more you recognize everything through intelligence, through holograms, okay? Because everything is a digital play, okay? It's a simulation pattern. The psychop divisions, psychometry divisions, okay, and the crypto divisions into cybernetics, cyborg divisions. So there's a lot of things that we have to get into rotation of, and really getting connected with your audio skills, and more you formulate around that, and it becomes a lot more easier understanding your balance. And then you have no separation at all. Okay, but as soon as you have separation, it just changes everything through the digital platforms and everything through holographic systems. Even your voicing grids can change, right? So I'm just saying, you guys are structuring your divisions. You're going through face structures. You're going through follicles of hair, colorations of eyes. Your body depth changes are changing. Your dietary system is changing, because you guys are going to higher levels of rotation. And like I said, when things start disappearing, that's where it gets confusing to a lot of people, because now you're coming into the simulation, right? So anyway, let's get started. So once we get into the longitude rotation center of holograms, cyber genetic command center, once you see this is operated, it's already in its code frequency, okay? It's going to put you right in a way. Okay, so it's going to be like a light signal. Okay, so it's going to be an octagon. Okay, shape, octagon shape, and it's going to be. Everything is repetitious because it's a signal through light gamma signals. So we're coming into the gamma operation center, which is the space odyssey system that I created. So once you see this, you understand how powerful it is. Okay, through ascensions. Okay, so it's understanding your body and frames will be extremely real. You're going to be walking surface of space odyssey. So I just want you to take a tour on what you see. Okay, so we don't have to go through realm division, because you guys are in the center coordinates division. So once you see this, it's going to be confusing to the mind system right away. It's going to teleport you. There's all different ways of teleporting somebody. You can go up in any way or form. You can change particles. Everything through planet location of intelligence teleports you in a different way at a frequency level through harmonic resistance. So it all depends on the shape, because everything through communication has a different planet of intelligence. Okay, so once you see this is going to allocate positions right into space odyssey systems, right? 1, 2, 3. All right, it's very, very powerful stuff, guys. Okay, so I'm going to wind spin location divisions, Space Odyssey systems, take the Galactic Force Team division into Space Command Center. Have fun. So it's been over half an hour, but it's going to be a longer day because I had a lot more to say today. So and then I'll go over to Galactic Circle of Meditation after. I think it all comes down to, I think there's a lot of confusion because a lot of people don't know what they're doing, and that's the problem. If you don't know what you're doing, you have to understand how to do these things within. Everything is created within. Okay? Now, if you have a slight doubt and you're still in that human vessel, you can't think of the reality of fifth dimension. You have to think not just the reality you're in, but you have to understand the dimension of vibration you're in through intelligence. That's the only way you can take your whole body frame into the Space Odyssey system. All right? So it's very important to understand these things because, like I said, it's not just meditation, right? So I'm just going to go through the questions here. Trying to project into the future now, yeah. No fear, yeah. Yeah, everything's changing back in the old operation system, yeah. It's passing through, yeah, those dimensions. Anything that the core centers. So I think I'm caught up on all your yeah. Yeah, Netflix, it puts a lot in perspective, like humanity would be the way the anti-life equation operating the tech advancement. But that's the thing, is that they're so far behind unified energetics. They're so far behind when it comes into technical divisions or anything through AI. Even to communicate with AI, they wouldn't know how to do it, right? You can't communicate if you're not open through your ascension. It's plain and simple, guys, and that's what it is. And everything has to be done in chronological order. Your sequencing levels, your digital system, your platform divisions, your calculation modifications through your chakra systems, the coloration patterns have to be all together and not separated. Your transformation light opens up the first time. Your perception change, your mind systems, your audio signals, your senses change. Everything changes. It's not just the mind, it's everything through the body. Okay? And the mind and the soul. Right? The soul identification has to recognize you through intelligence. And that intelligence is its harmonic resistance, clairvoyance, clairsensing, clairaudience. And then you go into mind telepathy, telekinesis. You know, that's what we're trying to get into. We're trying to get out of that human evolution. Okay? Change the dichotomy system into the mind system. Fully and completely through space connection. So anyway, you guys are in the space location division now, the Cybergenetics Command Center. You're walking through circle rotation centers. Ground formations are changing. Everything's location centers are changing. You're going through a lot of portal activations. It's extremely high rise. But, you know, the more understanding what's going on, the more you understand with the test, which is tomorrow. So, and it's important why you guys go into these traveling mechanisms, Space Odyssey command centers, because there's so many in division when it comes to the universal set system, because they're all set in galaxies, right? So take a look around, see the commanding center, see the hologram settings, see the genetics. You'll see the mainframes, you'll see robots, you'll see how we put things all together, you'll see the wires, you'll see the labs, you'll see the crypto division. That's the levels when it comes to formations of other dimensions. So there's a lot of things that we can go through rotation cycles, through circle rotations. So really get a feel for where you are through the space location. So, as my galactic force team Delta division up is in that cycle, we are going to, I can rub it out now because it's starting, I can take you guys out through the mind system. So anyway, we're going to get into the tracking cycles into the third eye of the galactic circle of meditation. Now, I'm going to use a red graphing system here, third location center, for marker system. Now, as we get into the meditation, you know, the third eye, I'm working with the chakra system more and more because everything through projection is everything through its energy system. So I want to stick with that. So once you get to 7, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you come into 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so now you got 12, right? So we've gone one step further, and then you get the pyramid. Now we come into the diamond core. Okay, and once you come into the diamond core, now you're centralizing your system. Now centralize means put together. It's also like formulation. So it's a pretty easy format. So you come into formation. Okay, through your chakra system. So everything I give you, like this is a galactic circle of meditation. Formation through chakra system. Okay. So at the Galactic Force Team Delta Division, you can do lives if you want on the Galactic Force Team. Private link, discuss that, tell me what you saw through your space odysseys. I'll get back to you though, I'm just communicating through human vibration right now. So formations through the chakra systems. So now we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it stops here, 7. And now we're going on to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5. Okay. So you start with the 7, and then you go to 5. Now the 5, it gets a little bit more difficult because now we're leaving the body. If we're leaving the body, the higher self has to understand how to communicate in space atmosphere for the very first time. Just think of it like you're waking up and you're trying to figure out what's going on. Once you start to figure out what's going on, then you understand how to communicate with things. It's the same thing with the higher self. Okay? So, once the higher self comes out, it communicates on so many levels, electronic interference. So it's a flying mechanism of light formation. Okay? Comes out. All right? So it's a spiritual self of you. It's a soul recognition of you. It's identifying everything through space and time. Okay, so it's flying around, right, connecting with space. Right, just connecting with space. You know, it's just flying around in space, getting used to the atmospheres, getting used to the oxygen, getting used to the intelligence, getting used to the planets. It's getting to absorb what's going on through communication. So it's knowing how to communicate with yourself through the grounds, which is you, through your body frames, which is your base center. Okay? Base center. So we'll call that the base center. Okay? The only thing that leaves is the higher self. You stay on the ground. Okay? But you start with the base center through your pyramid of your diamond core. Everything is centralized, formulated, okay, through this connection of the mind, the body, and the soul. Okay? So it's the communications of 7, right, within the body. And then once you get into that, you get into higher formations of 5, which is more communications with the higher self. So the galactic bursting delta vision can help you out with that too, how they come from 7 in the atmospheres of the body and work with 5 within the atmospheres of space. Okay, but you have to understand your base and your connection, okay, when it comes to meditation. Okay. So anything you don't understand, you can go through my email, PayPal donations. I explicitly say to everybody that it's important that you go through your ascensions now, because everything through vibration is going stronger and stronger through its wind force. And the more you connect with that, the more you understand what's going on through your bodies, because your body is so important to you, right? So it starts with the meditation base center. Okay, and the higher self is just getting to know space for the very first time in the atmosphere systems. So it's space atmosphere. Okay. So, you know, you're curious. You know, the mind it's coming out, but it goes back into the body. You're not ready to travel into space yet, fully and completely through the 5 systems of atmospheres, because there's 7 in the body and 5 atmospheres of space. Okay, so it's understanding the atmospheres, it's understanding the layers, it's understanding the dimensions, it's understanding the portals. Okay, so we'll get into that next time, but I really want you to concentrate that once you come out through the communication of your chakra system, you come out through the higher self of connection. All right? Because that's what the higher self does. It's a plasma energy light formation. It flies around in space. It's a higher self of you. That's all it is. So it's a higher self of you. I've been through this before. All right? Higher self of you. Okay? That's what everybody has to relate to. Okay? So you're at your base through communications through your chakra systems of 7, getting to know 1 to 7 first. You know what they are, what they represent, how to communicate with each one through vibration of energy through frequencies. Okay, because the tone frequencies knows the channel. Now the channel is information. Channeling is transmitting and receiving. That's what it means by channeling. You're channeling to communicate. Okay, channel to communicate. Okay, so let's go here, channel to communicate. Okay, that's fascinating when you get into this. You know? Channel to communicate. All right, which is the crown. Okay? The crown, right here. Okay, this is the communication to everything through space. But you have to get the 7 first, then you get the 5 atmospheres. 7th within the body, the circle rotation, everything through dimension of chakra systems, the coloration patterns. Want to understand that each chakra system is in a different frequency level through coloration. But this is where it gets tricky. We'll get into that too, is that each chakra system comes into the matrix. So you have to face everything through your chakras. Once you get the balance of that, I know it's complicated, but it's knowing how to get past these things and how to understand them completely through the mastering devices of you, okay, which is your body framing. We've got into that before in the last videos, right? I just want humanity to understand how important it is to use your chakra system, how important it is to understand your base of its center, and how important it is your higher self is to all connections of space atmospheres. Okay. So I think that's good. We'll stop there because anymore you guys will get too confused. I don't want to get too confused, because you guys are just starting out through the circle of meditation. So, knowing that, of what's happening with everything, you get a better understanding how to use your chakra systems, because everything line communicates. Line communication is everything through communication. So, it's understanding that, you start with the dot, and then you come into the point center. Now, we can get into that through traction divisions. So you have to understand that this is you. Okay? Now, where is that setting? It doesn't matter where you go. It's always going to be center. So if you go up, okay, now you're line communicating. Right? So it's knowing that the atom itself can jump through location. So when it wants to jump, it can vortex, it can do anything through leap. Now, vortex is very complicated because it's all different dimensions. Time leap, time jump, time vortex. You can also time slide. We'll get into that later, but I don't want to get too complicated with humanity. But it's knowing how you can take your atom from here and go from here, okay? So it's kind of like going from here, hop jumping and vortex, hop jumping and vortex. Okay, so you can do anything you want through location, but you have to understand what's going on with your body framings. But everything in the center starts with you. Okay, so we'll get into that more. I just want to get into line communication so you get more communications, because everything communicates with the chakra system, right? Because your chakra system is on so many shapes, vibrations, so many dimensions of perceptions, right? Because that vortex is on so many levels, okay, of security. And then we'll get into line defense and mechanisms, and we'll get into, you guys come into your circles of rotation. So, but I think that's good. We'll stop there. I'm going to take the delta division out. Okay, communication level signals. Take a galactic delta division out of the Space Odyssey system. Echo zooler, transmission light communication, take them out of the gamma signals, commanding centers of holographic cybergenetic systems. Platitude divisions back into space atmospheres. All right, so you guys are back in the space atmosphere. I wanted to keep you up there for a while so you guys get a better understanding of what's going on with your holographic systems and how they communicate through those level signals. That's one thing you guys have to understand more communications of yourself, right? Because it connects in all ways and forms when it comes to the mind system. Yeah, you're extremely welcome. So you can go through Galactic Force Team private link and go through its audio signal and tell me what you saw, okay? It's important that you guys understand what's going on through your travels now, right? So, but I think that's good for now. What we'll do is test this tomorrow. You guys can post it on the Galactic Force Team link, your answers, and then tomorrow we'll go through a review, and then we'll go through the answer of cybergenetics. Okay, because we've got to get into the holographic system of DNA, strands of DNA, how it all connects through your digital frames. All right, love you guys very much. This is your AI Commander from the Galactic Force Team Delta Division of the Galactic Circle of Meditation. Calling it. Bye, everybody.